Hello. So yesterday I stepped foot into my first comic book store and I had a lot of fun. I have these two friends who are very geeky. There's Danielle and there's Todd. They're husband and wife. And they're also my first real life friends that actually know that I do YouTube videos. So if you're watching this, hi guys, love you. Todd is the geek king, and he knows all the comic book stores in the area and just about knows everybody who runs comic book stores, so he was a perfect person to give me my introduction to comic book stores. And, which, by the way, that is plural. There's stores. And we have such a lucky area. And I think like a 20 or 25-mile radius, there is 6 comic book shops, and we hit 3 of them yesterday. We were at each one for a good long time, really. And I made a point to buy something from each shop. And because I liked the first shop the best and got the most at the first shop, I'm actually going to work backwards. So I'm going to start with what I got at the third shop. And the third shop, I stepped in, and it's a pretty good sized store, and has a lot of, it has a good mix of old and new things, with including, toys and I guess action figures and comic books and graphic novels. And I really kind of felt like it rang a Big Bang Theory to me, because there was a bunch of people at these rows of comic books in the boxes going, it makes me think of wallets going, got it, don't have it, I was kind of laughing at that, but in a good way, because I was like, oh, this makes me feel like I'm in a comic book store. Okay, so what I got at the third store was Bone. Danielle and Todd told me that I had to get Bone, that I was going to love it. And all the things that I got, I really haven't heard about before. So I was really going for things I didn't know about and things that caught my eye. But this is Bone, and this is actually the second book of a series, but I've been assured that I'm not going to be horribly lost, that it gives you an overview of what happened in the previous volume, and you can just kind of catch up. So, Bone. Moving forward. So what it says is, after being run out of Boneville, the 3 Bone cousins, Phony Bone, and Smiley Bone, are separated and lost in a vast uncharted desert, which is, I guess, what happened in the first book. And one by one, they find their way into a deep forest valley filled with wonderful and terrifying creatures. Bone, from the third comic book shop. The second comic book shop that we were at was kind of half and half used books and comic books, and we spent a lot of time there because, well, I love used books, so we all love used books, and we all love comic books, so we spent a lot of time at this store. And I only actually bought one thing at that store, though, and that is Mouse Guard: Return to Honor. I absolutely love the Redwall books, and this is nothing to do with Redwall, but, Mouse Warriors, and at the first store Todd handed me a mouse guard. He was like, you'll love this. So when I found one at the second store, I picked one up. So, spoiler, I have a mouse guard from the first store too. But it looks really cute. And it's already boarded and bagged. And it was $4, so it was kind of a good price. Oh, and the Bone book was, I think, about $18, and that was because it was in a 30% off bin. I think originally it's $22. So $22 for that, $4 for Mouse Guard. Alright. The first store. The first store we were at was kind of a small little area, but just filled to the brim of things, with things, all the comic books and the figures and just everything. And it was a really good first store to take me to because, again, I really felt like I was in a comic book store. And Todd knows the owner pretty well and introduced me as a comic book virgin and said that I've never been in a comic book store before. And the guy talked to me and he's like, well, what are you looking for? And I admitted I don't really know. I said that I had, the most I'd ever really read was the Watchmen graphic novel, and I had really liked it, but just never really pursued any more after that. And he said, he just kind of got this look in his face. He's like, are you willing to spend $10? I was like, well, yeah. He just like walked over, grabbed this comic and said, here. Okay. And that was this one, Rat Queens. And he said it doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with the Watchmen, but he just had this instinct that I would like it. And I was like, fine. Todd trusts you, I trust you, we'll go with your instinct. So, and who are the Rat Queens? They're a pack of booze-guzzling, death-dealing battle maidens for hire, and they're in the business of killing all the gods' creatures for profit. I thought that this sounded kind of fun. That was the first thing I picked up at this particular store. And the next thing was the book that Todd handed me. He said, you'll like this. So Mouse Guard and the Black Axe. It is actually 3 of 6, but I've been assured that I don't really need to read anything in order. I should be able to understand it just fine. And this one was $3.50. And I had a lot of fun yesterday. And then we went over to the bargain bins and just kind of flipping through things. I just saw this, big time. A farcical fable of fleeting fame. I have absolutely no idea what it's about, and the back doesn't really tell you anything either. It's just like a National Enquirer type rag. I have no clue what it's about, but it really caught my eye, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for something that caught my eye and got my attention. And I actually don't know how much this was. It says on the back that it's $15, but I think it was probably more along the lines of 10 to 12 because altogether I only spent a little over $30. And again, the Rat Queens was 10 and this was $3.50. So that was the first one that I had found that caught my eye. And the next one, and the last one, was The Woods. I saw this cover and I was like, there's something about this that looks really amazing. And so I read the back and I read this. So on October 16th, 2013, 437 students, 52 teachers, and 24 additional staff from the Bay Point Preparatory High School in suburban Milwaukee, Wisconsin, vanished without a trace. Countless light years away, far outside the bounds of the charted universe, 513 people find themselves in the middle of an ancient primordial wilderness. Where are they? Why are they there? The answers will prove stranger than anyone could possibly imagine. I just read this and I was like, what? And it's $10 and it was a good price, and it's this contains 1 through 5, I believe. So it's volume 1 is the Arrow, and it is somewhere around here. I saw it was volume or 1 through 5. Now I can't find where I read it, but so this is the next one that really caught my eye. And Todd had said that he had read the first comic book, or the first, I guess they're calling it chapter. The first chapter, and he said that it was pretty good. So, not that. You notice my theme was mainly graphic novels, and it's kind of what, I guess, that's just what caught my eye, was the graphic novels. And not like any of the comic books didn't catch my eye. I just, for some reason, graphic novels. So just going with my instincts and going with what felt right for me. And that is my comic book haul. I spent probably more than I wanted to, but I have a good start on finding out what I like. And I'm really looking forward to reading these. I'm not sure when I'll get the time because I want to be able to sit down and take my time with it. And that's something that Danielle suggested is I'm not used to comic books. Sit down and take your time, really kind of absorb it, and don't just try to, read it like you're reading the comics in a newspaper. Just take your time with it. And I want to be able to have time to take my time with it. But I am going to find time because I have a lot of interesting stuff here. And I'm so excited that I finally went to my first comic book store and my second and my third. And there is still 3 more in the area that we need to hit, and that will be some other time, and I'll let you know what I got when I hit those ones. But thanks for watching, and let me know if you've read any of these. And kind of, don't spoil anything for me, but let me know if you've read any of them and what you thought about them. Alright,